How many people have the privilege of naming a group of lions and following them for more than half their life, and to be able to this day still look at those scrapbooks and remember all those individual characters: Halftail, Honey, Bibi, Kabibi, Cloudy Eye, the marsh lions, the lions we named over 40 years ago, the lions that we're still watching to this day. We always feel the pull, the tug at our heartstrings, bringing us back to this place, not just the Masai Mara, but this place, Musiara Marsh. There's something truly extraordinary about living a life alongside the big cats. We're Jonathan and Angela Scott, and we've been following the lions, leopards and cheetahs of the Masai Mara for over 40 years. They're not just big cats to us. We know them as individuals. Alongside us is our good friend Jackson Oli Luseya. He's spent his life in the Mara, and these characters are as special to him as they are to us. Join us as we draw back the curtain on the intimate story of their lives. This is my kind of day. I mean, you can tell, can't you? This has the look of a bogging. Oh, I love it. Look at the colours. Look at the colours in the water. No, Johnny, look at the road. If you lose your concentration for even a minute. We had so much rain last night. Uh-oh. This is Marsh Pride territory, but it's an area that we call Bila Shaka. In Swahili that means without fail, because you can always find lions here. These two lionesses, we call them Red and Spot, and they've got 3 cubs, one of which is tiny, about 10 weeks old, a little male, and we call him Kaleli. In Swahili that means noisy, because he's always making a fuss. He always wants everybody to know exactly where he is. I can see a couple of males up ahead. I've got a feeling there must be a kill there, and that could mean a chance for the cubs to get some food. Now this is good news. This is one of the warriors, and these are the fathers of the little cubs. Red, a little bit cautious, Kaleli not in the slightest bit bothered, because you have to remember that lionesses at times, they have cubs killed by males. But when you look at the cubs' reactions, them playing like this, the bigger cub with little Kaleli, they're completely relaxed around these big males. Yeah. But the mums, always a little bit cautious. But look at that. Watch out. He's saying, this is mine. And he'll tolerate the cubs. Because think about it, the cubs are related to him, whereas the females aren't. But you can see the females, they're still interested, even just at scraps. But they've got to watch out. Just watch this. That, in lion language, means push off. This is mine. Little Kaleli is learning what it means to be a lion. He's out with the big guys. He's in the big league now. But you can hear, that's him. That's why we called him Kaleli, the noisy one. Oh! That was a sort of Jonah Lomo tackle. That was big league. But the great thing is that he's big enough now to be able to ride with the punches, and he loves it. He's constantly provoking play. Okay, the male on the left, that's Chongo. That's Kaleli's dad, or at least we think it's his dad. And the reason he's called Chongo, he's got one eye. Little bit of bonding there between the two males, head rubbing, because of course their destiny is being together. 6 warriors, is an incredibly powerful group of males. They control the marsh pride and the Topi Plains ridge pride, so they roam a huge area. This was the missing element for me, the presence of these huge males, the warriors, but I'm not convinced. It looks good, but it's not as good as I want. I want to see these males spending much more time, not at Bilashaka, at the edge of the territory, but where Kabibi, Cloudy Eye, Dada, where the other females are, where the other little cubs are. That's where I want to see these males.
This cat is something else. I think she's got a subject, and the way she's looking way up towards the ridge. And I can see the Thompson gazelles way up there. As soon as we can locate the subject that she may be hunting, then we position. I'm the master of positioning. And now we have one subject right here. She's reading the menu right there. Zebra, that's not on the menu. Buffalo, no. Topi, absolutely not. That's a real target. One thing I love about the cheetahs is they're masters when it comes to hunting. This is a male Tommy. He's got a territory. He knows exactly why he's here. He's just claiming that little spot. This is my home range. But sometimes when you're alone and you don't have support for eyes looking from different corners and directions, you will be vulnerable. These are cats who live on the edge for the rest of their lives. Since they were born, they're on the edge to the day they close their eyes. And she's moving slowly and steadily forward towards the Thompson gazelle. It's going to be a run because Thompson gazelles are fast. It's amazing. I love these animals. Just look at that. Now she's going to go. This is the final because the Thompson gazelle is eating. She's moving. She's now running. She's going. Look at that. She's going. Unbelievable. She's coming towards us. Tommy has got 80 chances. Done. Got it. This is just an amazing, amazing cheetah. Now Amani has got food. We are also very happy to see a cheetah with cubs survive. Because the survival of the cheetah is Thompson gazelle. That male is an old male. Now his life is gone back to the cheetah. It's actually a good thing that is happening. It's not a bad thing. Amani now finished eating and her cubs are full and happy. They are off to one of the shades just up there, rest for the day. The vultures now arrive. And look at all these vultures. You know what they will attract? They will attract hyenas and so on. And guess what? Lions are arriving to the scene. A bigger surprise. This is what Amani must be so scared of. Incredible. Look, the lioness with her young cubs. These are other scavengers that you don't expect usually. But the vultures always will bring enemies to the cheetah. But she has got nothing to worry because she had a good meal and she will be happy for the next few days. The lions got a little bit of scrap. They just can play with it and have the skins and bones while Amani is happy.
We've got a problem. We had 4 cubs yesterday when we left them. I can only see 3. Just got to keep my fingers crossed that somewhere, maybe down in the lugger, in this drift here, I can see the females. They're coming back. And we will discover very, very fast whether or not there's a cub missing. Because if it's tucked down in the gully, it will come out at the sound of the greetings. Let's check their stomachs. Oh no, they haven't had a big meal. They really haven't. This is the toughest time of the year for our predators because there's no migration here. That's to the south in Serengeti. The wildebeest and zebra, the big herds, not here. Look how excited the cubs are and hungry. It's not just that they're pleased to see mum, it's the fact that also they want to feed. We know that lions can count. They will know at some point something's not right. There is a cub missing. And you see how focused those cubs are together. So something untoward must have happened for one of the cubs to disappear like this. And that's why it's so important for cubs to be brought together in a creche, for them to have brothers and sisters. When the mother's away, they stay as a tight little group. Oh yes, there's the cub. There's the 4th cub. Oh my goodness, but it's way out there. What was it doing? You know, it's a relief, but to be quite honest, there's still a lot of this story to go because it's got to get back to where the mums are. Here he comes. He's coming. Oh, fantastic. Keep going, little guy. Oh, look. Maybe one of the mums will see him. Here, look, he's running over. Here he comes. Oh, now the mums will hear him. Look, she's seen it. And that little cub is saying, come and help me. I need to get back with the group. The one female's looking a little bit more concerned now. Is she going to go down and get it? Yes, it's back. Ah. That is just brilliant. But you know, it reminds me you can take nothing for granted. We come out each day in the hope that we're going to come. The mums will be there, all 4 cubs will be there. Further down that way, little Kaleli, that he's going to be okay. And sometimes it isn't. But that is part of why Angie and I love doing this. And you just feel incredibly privileged to watch their story unfold. We have just driven halfway across the Mara to catch up with our 5 cheetah boys. I still can't quite believe 5 male cheetahs together. It's almost unheard of. When we last saw this coalition, it was during the migration, and they were targeting the wildebeest, but that's way to the south right now. So what will they target next? Oh my goodness, they are so chunky. Compared with a female who's more waspish, they're big, muscular cats. I'm really trying to get into the individuality of these 5 cheetahs because 5 spotted cats, to the untrained eye, they could look almost identical, but they're not. This one here, sitting next to the one lying down, he is the biggest of the cheetahs. Very broad head, big chest, probably weighs 50, could even weigh up to 60 kilos, a big cheetah. This is a tight team, and when they hunt, it's dynamite. Breathtaking. what they're doing is they're not just using this as a climbing frame, they're using it as a scent post, they're marking it, they're peeing against it. They will leave a message which will tell every cheetah in the area who comes past here, we're here, the 5 boys. This is our place. Every time I look and I see these 5 cheetahs, I think this isn't possible. You'd think to yourself, some cats got out of a big cat sanctuary, but this is Africa, this is real, and this is extraordinary. It could be mayhem for some prey animal because they are on the hunt. And the difference you'll see when they get into their stride, when they move from this slow pace across the grasslands, when they lock onto the target, watch out. We've got 3 lionesses, all with small cubs. On the left, you've got Kabibi. She's got 3 cubs, 3 of the 4. On the right, you've got Cloudy Eye. She's got 1 cub, a little girl, and she's letting that cub suckle. It's got the milk bar to itself. And in the middle, trying to stay out of trouble, is Dada. She's got 2 cubs, but they're still back across the reeds, under that tree or amongst that dense bush. Now, notice what she's doing. She's got milk. Kabibi's cubs are trying to suckle from her, and she's saying, no way. She's using her back foot, pushing them out of the way, pushing them away from her teats. And if that isn't a big enough message, then she's showing her teeth. Just gently saying, you know what, I'm a mum, I've got cubs of my own, that milk is not yours. Go check out your own mum. And so for the moment, you've got this fascinating situation of these 3 lionesses who enjoy being together, but who are pushing their own agendas when it comes to raising their cubs. I don't believe it. Kali, she has got a wound as if somebody had razored her face, has cut her almost from the corner of her mouth to her ear. What could have caused it? You know what? These lions are really struggling for food. They've been hunting warthogs. You don't get it right with a male warthog with those tusks. It's not the big curved ones. It's underneath. They're like stilettos. The lower canines, they're just like a knife. And those hogs will just swing their head sideways and they will cut you open. Whatever it is, it looks so painful. Look, lions are tough customers. They have to put up with the repercussions of injuries from prey and from fights with other individuals. So in her world, is it a major consideration? I'm not sure, but you can see she's uncomfortable. She's pawing at it. I mean, you know, she's going to be trying to lick it. She must be in pain with that. That is for definite. Now, what are we going to do about it? We always say you mustn't interfere. You have to let nature take its course. If you didn't think it was tough for lions before you saw this, I'm sure you will now. So often we talk about danger, jeopardy, the trials and tribulations of these big cats, but it's real. It's not us just hyping things. These lions live a very precarious life. Little cubs like the ones we're watching now, that we're totally invested with, 50% of them will not survive. It's an incredible journey that these animals take us on. It's a roller coaster. These are just extraordinary creatures. It's heartbreaking to see this. We've just heard word from our camera crew. They found Alari, our leopard mum. with a male. Now, what does that mean? She's got cubs. Is it a friendly meeting or what? Let's go and see. Last time I was with Alari, she had 2 male cubs, Ndogo and Makubwa, but they're independent now. No one has seen her new litter yet, so they must be tiny. But more importantly, with a male around, are they still alive? That is the biggest male leopard I have ever seen. He is huge. He looks almost like a jaguar, and his markings are so distinct. Black spots, rosettes, as if somebody had taken their fingers, dipped them into black charcoal, and just boom, boom, boom. Beautiful. Okay, here comes the female. So much smaller. And it's Alari. I can see the suckle marks, where she's been lactating, where cubs have been suckling, but does she still have the cubs? Because if she did, why is she soliciting the male's attention? At the moment, it's almost as if he's saying, you know what's going on here? And a female generally doesn't spend time with a male. They lead separate lives. And the way she keeps going up and down the tree to the male, bugging him, pushing him, vocalizing, getting in his face, and you can see he's not really convinced yet. Okay, now they're on the ground, and she's going through the same routine, the same ritual, just going round and round, trying to encourage him. I mean, literally thumping him on the head. It's as if he's just not ready. And she's wafting her scent from under her tail, literally right in his face. The weather's changed, a bittersweet moment. The leopards are mating, and that can mean only one thing. Alari has lost her cubs. We'd never seen them, but we knew the signs. When females have cubs, they remain anestrus for at least a year in the case of leopards, to give the cubs time to grow before they get pregnant with the next litter. So a poignant moment, the loss of her cubs, but the beginning of new life. When they finish, when the male withdraws with that spiny penis, which helps to actually stimulate ovulation, the release of the egg, ouch. The female just turns around and wants to clobber the male, and he does everything to jump out of harm's way. It's a sort of violent ballet. I reckon I've probably seen mating leopards on 3 occasions, but this, in the open, visible, at the edge of the river, now I know a lot more than I did. Now we can't be sure whether Alari will become pregnant from this series of matings, but if it's successful, in 90 days' time or thereabouts, there will be a new generation of Alari's cubs. And believe me, we will be back here recording their future, because that's what we do, and we love it.
So this is just what I wanted to see this morning. Last night when I left the cubs, I was actually really quite concerned because they'd obviously not fed for days and they were very lethargic and really not playing at all. So to come here this morning and find them bouncing around, right on track, fat little bellies, it's wonderful. I always think of a lion pride. It's made up of individual lionesses, but actually it is like one animal. They are so bonded, the lionesses. When one lioness moves, the other moves. They're in perfect sync together. And I think that's what makes a pride so strong. Claudia, she is such a nurturing mother. You can see she loves being with the cubs. I think for Kibibi, it's more, well, you know, the cubs are my duty, my responsibility. But for Claudia, she's a mother through and through. There are moments where she just wants to play with the cubs, and she's calling them, making them come to her. She can actually pull them all the way round, take the cub's head in her paw and pull it under her chin. She's a very, very good mother. I think perhaps one of the reasons Kibibi and Claudia are staying so close to this area is because of Dada, and Dada having just given birth. It's an extraordinary thing that lionesses do this. They are such a strong, bonded sisterhood. It sort of just goes without saying. They form these creches so that they're stronger together than they would be if they're alone. So there are a lot of things to think about when you're raising cubs. You know, where to lead them, where's the safe place. So for instance, in the forest we have a whole troop of baboons that live here. And I mean, baboons are a nightmare. Obviously, when the mothers are here, they're quite safe. But one can't help but think, you know, what happens when the mothers aren't here? You know, we can't get into the bush to find out how deep the roots are, how safe they really are. And it's dangerous. I mean, it really is tough to bring up these little cubs at the moment. It's certainly a story that is very close to my heart that I shall continue to follow.
You think ostriches are outrageous as a bird? What about the Kori bustard? My favorite bird of the African savanna. Is there any limit to nature's creativity? He looks like some Edwardian gentleman, all puffed up in his finery. He has got such a fine set of feathers. Just listen for a minute as the Kori bustard just blows up his throat patch to make himself look even more impressive. And then you see his bill moving. This deep resonant sound which just reverberates across the savanna. And that's how he signals his presence. And the reason for all this? There's a female. So he wants to attract a female so as he can mate. This is the breeding season, and significantly, another sign of how the climate has affected these areas. We're getting drier in the Mara. We only used to see Kori bustards to the south of here, where it was drier, in the Serengeti. I mean, what must the wildebeest and zebra, the gazelles think? You can see at times, as the male walks displaying with his tail flipped up, the gazelles look as if to say, what is this? Because these birds aren't here all year round. They move in here at times, often when it's time to breed. And that's the beauty of the Mara. It's not just about the big cats, the elephants, the buffalo. It's the wonder of the bird life. 570 species of birds. So Dada's coming down. Now look at the way our little cubs doing just what adult lionesses and lions do, scratching, clawing the base of this tree. Oh look, now this is Kabibi's daughter. I know it's her. She's a dark little cub. Angie's been watching this little cub and she is a real little minx. She's just so adventurous. And what I can see now is the lionesses might have thought they had a good way of getting away from the cubs, but the cubs are growing. They're flexing their sort of, ability to do just this, climb trees. I think the siesta is probably going to be over very shortly. Okay, watch this, watch this. We've got a bull elephant coming in. Now he probably just wants to feed. This is a great place, lush vegetation, water, and now he can smell lions, and that's a totally different thing. But just check the way Dada is very cool. I mean, you can see she doesn't want to leave the shade. Also, she doesn't want to run and provoke even more trouble. Hold your ground. Oh, no. He's coming in. Oh, no. Those lions are going to want to get up that tree for another reason. The bull wants the grass. The lions want the shade. Okay, only one exit here. Up the tree again. You better go higher than that. Whoa. Just look at Dada now. I mean, the body language. She looks really uncomfortable, and I don't blame her. No options. He wants her to move, and she can't. It's fascinating to see this kind of standoff, the balance of power between our lions and elephants. It's not over yet. Now the bull is going right to where the little cubs are tucked away. Just a stump tucked right down deep in it. Let's hope they don't panic. This could be really dangerous. If they run, trouble. You might think that the lionesses would panic, come down, but in fact they don't do it, because if they came down, the elephant would just get madder. Here comes Cloudy Eye. Okay, the cubs are coming out. And you see, the minute the danger is over, the cubs recognize it. And they want to come back to where the mums are. They did exactly what you have to do to survive. Don't panic, don't scatter, don't lose your nerve. You're a lion. This is what it takes to be one.
The 5 cheetah males have just killed a young warthog. A little piglet is not going to do much for them. Look, their bellies are still flat. And look at the way they're looking, scanning across, saying that we have energy. We need now to kill something big. No messing around. When they want something, they'll go for it and they'll get it. Being the fastest animals on land, any animal that is being hunted, I've got no hope. Just have to surrender. Look, the leader says, we are off. Now ready for the next adventure. And we must just go and see what they're after. It's going to be very, very interesting. They're just scanning now the savannah. You can see them looking You can see a couple of warthogs way up in the distance. I don't think they like the bigger warthogs. Any of the small little hoglets. To see what up in the distance. Our cheetah boys are looking at the zebra right here, and they're interested. And they're looking at that little baby zebra there. And in fact, one is up and walking and moving fast, and all of them are moving very fast. Stripes versus spots. Let's see what's going to happen. There they go, they're coming. They're all coming. Is right on it. That's incredible. Got it. That is amazing. Done. What an incredible thing. Wow. And you come with these animals, you see how incredible it is. But listen. That's the mother and the father zebra. They saw their baby being taken down. It's really hard. They came through the Mara River, crocodiles. They crossed the other rivers to come here and meet the spots of the 5 male cheetahs.